Hey, good Tuesday evening, everyone. State Representative Brad Halbrook here, kicking off another Tuesday night Illinois Freedom Caucus Roundtable. And tonight, gentlemen, we've introed some new intro music, and of course, we've kind of changing up here a little bit as we brought on Senator Chesney from the North, so we've added his picture to the intro also. But with that, welcome, gentlemen, to our Tuesday night roundtable. We got a couple important topics that we want to discuss, and so maybe we'll get right into that. And then we'll just we'll just have kind of a lightning round of closing comments where we'll go to everybody to close out. And so with that, Colin, if you'll bring up the slide sets, tonight we want to talk about the pension and the unfunded part of the pension. We'll give you an update there and some recent reports from COGFA and others. And then we want to talk about Mr. Homan comes to Chicago and discusses the border situation. So with that, we'll go to the first slide. And so we're going to talk about what appears to be at a minimum, according to COGFA, $143 billion unfunded liability. I know Fitch has put out a report a few weeks ago that says the number is $172 billion, the highest in the nation compared to our neighbors like Indiana is $11 billion short, Michigan $8 billion, Wisconsin $4 billion, and Iowa $2 billion, but yet we're $172 billion. Representative Freeze, let's go to you. What's your thoughts on all this report and the situation with the unfunded pension liability?
This report causes me to lose sleep, be honest with you. There isn't a single pension fund that is adequately funded. Everybody and probably everybody on the Zoom call has been inundated with emails and telephone calls about Tier 2. And my understanding is the Democrats' fix to the Tier 2 issue is let's just make it Tier 1. We're already going to be in the whole $2 to $3 billion next year in our budget. Next 5 years, $20 billion, I think is what they say. So yeah, we're going to add more unfunded pension liability to this. Yeah, not smart, but that's probably what they'll end up doing.
Right. Yeah. Gentlemen, any other thoughts from around the table on this very important matter and how it's affecting us, what it looks like for the future, regardless of a Tier 2 fix, what that potentially could be as far as increasing the unfunded liability, or ultimately, is this going to boil down to more tax increases to fund this thing?
Yeah, Brad, go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say, I just think that's an excellent point that you bring up, is that this is the elephant in the room that nobody wants to have a conversation about. But, as we can see, the chickens are coming home to roost, and this is something that we have to tackle, something that we have to deal with, because even from the beginning, this has been way over promised as far as what we have the fiscal ability to manage as a state. And as you look at these numbers, you can see that this thing is spun completely out of control, and we have to deal with this now and get the fixes in, get a program in place that will actually deal with the problem, rather than just what we've done in the past is just kick the can down the road.
Mm-hmm. Adam?
Oh yeah, I think that David and Chris are absolutely correct in what they're saying about this particular slide in the pension situation that we find ourselves in. This is something that we have to address, as Chris had said, and something that needs to be addressed. Working class folks throughout the state of Illinois, they don't have pensions. They might have a 401k, something of that nature when it comes to saving for retirement. But these unfunded pension liabilities are just putting more fiscal responsibility on the taxpayers here in the state of Illinois. And you look at all the other issues that we have in the state of Illinois, the deficit at $3.2 billion going into this next fiscal year. You look at the unfunded liabilities. That's a huge financial driver here in the state of Illinois. So I understand why folks, the public sector unions, folks out there that work for the state, that are concerned about this. But at the same time, if there's nobody left to pay taxes in the state of Illinois, you're not going to have a pension anyway. So we really need to pay attention to this.
Right.
Yeah, you made a great point there, Adam. And we're already losing population. Additional taxes, raising everybody's taxes, it's just going to exacerbate the problem.
Right. Senator Chesney, what's your perspective from the Senate?
Well, it's going to lead to tax increases. When they say a fix, they want to increase a benefit, and it has to be paid for by somebody. And historically speaking, it's going to be a combination of of state and local revenue shares or expenses, and they're going to have to share in this. Oh, we already have the highest property tax, or one of the highest property tax rates in the entire country. We're already billions of dollars in the hole. We have a massive liability, and this would just simply add to it. The reason that there is a interest in this tier 2 fix isn't because they just want to increase the benefit. These have been some of the most loyal supporters of the Democrat Party. And this is a way to reward those groups. And so the Democrats are really stuck because they have loudly taken the position that they've had balanced budgets, even though we would disagree with that over the last several years. And now their budget's out of whack. Last year, they raised the taxes by about $1 billion. As Adam mentioned, they're $3.2 billion in the hole this year. And now they want to add some pension sweeteners on top of it. Ultimately, you run out of other people's money, and this sweetener will just exacerbate, as Representative Freese mentioned, to this issue.
Right. Yeah, gentlemen, I think it's important to kind of take a trip down memory lane as we kind of look at how we got here. And we got here, I believe, because of a Republican governor back in the middle 90s that created this pension ramp that backloaded the pension payments. And as anybody knows, whether it's a mortgage payment or you're saving, time and interest works for you and against you. And in this situation, shorting the pension payments 30 years ago and backloading them to the last few years has hurt us dramatically. We've not had the opportunity to grow that base of dollars, and it's just put us in a really, really tight spot here. So I think it's important to remember that and understand how damaging the pension ramp that is state law that has to be followed, but how this thing has grown exponentially out of control. Any closing thoughts before we move on to the next slide?
Yeah, maybe all the Edgar fellows can help us fix that.
Maybe they can. I wasn't going to name any names, but Senator Chesney jumped right out there. All right. Next slide. So we had a visitor to Illinois this week, Tom Homan. I think he was in Illinois back in May, actually in Springfield, I think, spoke at the a big event there. Going to be a Trump appointee to work on the border issue. Let's go to Representative Niemerg to kind of weigh in on this situation about the border czar and the border and kind of this whole immigration crisis.
Yeah, thank you, Brad. And folks, very happy to see Tom Homan in Chicago, the city of Chicago, and being there to really, show that he's ready to really get this done, and that he's not scared to come to Chicago in the face of Brandon Johnson, in the face of J.B. Pritzker. This Trump victory is a mandate. The American people want the illegal immigration issue dealt with. They want the illegals out of this country, and Tom is definitely one to get that done. So I look forward to see, what he's going to be able to do here in the state of Illinois. And we're looking at $3 billion that we've already spent on illegals here in the state of Illinois. And we see the city of Chicago, folks up there, especially the black population in the city of Chicago, polls at 66% negative on this issue. They don't want illegals in Chicago either. They want those benefits to go towards citizens rather than the $3 billion going towards illegal immigration. So it's a situation where we've got a lot of work to do here in the state of Illinois. Again, I know I keep talking about this, but that bill over in the Senate to allow illegals to change their name and to impound that record, that's something we'll be watching in lame duck. I would not be surprised if that gets pushed through in lame duck to try to counteract the Trump administration's deportation policies. But buckle up. It's going to be interesting. And thank God Donald Trump won, and thank God Tom Homan is in the city of Chicago to represent the Trump agenda. And we will be right there behind him every step of the way.
Excellent points, Representative Niemerg. Senator Chesney, I know you dealt with that naming issue that Representative Niemerg talked about. We also have the governor say he's trying to Trump-proof Illinois. I'm sure you've got thoughts on that and others, but what's your thoughts about this important time here with Mr. Homan and the border situation?
To me, it's just wild this is even really a debate. We have a responsibility to secure a border, protect our country, and know who's coming into our country. And the idea that it's become a political issue is really just a smaller group of liberal elites that want to continue to push an agenda to destroy our country. But as Adam mentioned, this is not a popular issue, regardless of where you live or what your political ideological bend is. It's diverting resources to Trump-proof Illinois just means it's going to double down on the sanctuary state policies that Governor Pritzker and the Democrat majorities have put into place. The consequence of that is going to be additional tax increases and tax hikes and diverting resources away from legal citizens. And it's widely unpopular if you're downstate or in the suburbs or in the urban city of Chicago. And so the rub really is that I have is why are we continuing to prioritize those that have broken the law? And then, to see you're seeing some contrast with the mayor of New York City that has welcomed President Trump from at least addressing the criminal activity. Brandon Johnson, with his whopping 14% approval rating, has said, not only do we want to keep the criminals here, we want to keep them safe and comfortable and put them in 5-star hotels. And of no surprise, it's not popular anywhere in the state. And so, the Democrats really have some positions that are not only very dangerous, but widely unpopular. In my view, Brad, it's not if, but when the Democrats will be punished at the ballot box.
Right, exactly. And Representative, you talked about how we've spent $3 billion over the last few years on illegal aliens. That's the estimate that the budget will be out of balance this coming fiscal year. Representative Freeze, what's your thoughts on this matter? And then we'll go to Representative Leader Chairman Miller to close out on this slide.
Well, it is amazing that the Democrats have doubled and tripled down on such an unpopular position, even amongst their own constituents. The only rationale I can think of this is that they're actually this is their voter recruitment process. Mm-hmm. Is the only thing I can think of is they want these people to vote. Not only in local elections, but federal elections as well.
Yeah. Leader Chairman Miller, I know you've probably got something to say about the border and the Trump's new administration coming in to help solve this problem.
Well, I know that, some things that really hit home with me is that this border is not an oops. I know that you and I and Representative Caucus made a trip almost a year ago now down to the border. Mm-hmm. And this is a multinational human trafficking ring that is involved in labor and in sex, and also the Democrats are trying to cultivate another generation of Democrat voters because they know that their ideas are damaging America as well as Illinois, and I think that it's important to realize that we're looking at approximately, the latest numbers that I heard is somewhere in the area of 300,000 unaccompanied minors that have come across the border. And this has been the final leg of a long journey that's been funded by taxpayers. They're putting them on airplanes, flying them all over the United States. And I know that they've been having hearings with the labor and different organizations, and the common thread is that they're gaslighting, lying, spinning, and doing everything except being transparent and honest about this whole debacle on the border. But the thing that the American people and the citizens of Illinois need to come to grips with, this is completely on purpose. This is completely organized crime in its best. And not only that, but it's a organized crime scheme that's in cooperation with not only our state government, but also our federal government. And I am so glad that Iron Man Tom is coming to rescue the citizens of Illinois as well as the citizens of America.
Yeah, great points. I mean, this is just shameful. The hundreds of millions of dollars that the U.S. taxpayer funneled through the United States is putting into these NGOs that's sponsoring this state-sponsored human trafficking, the drug traffic, you name the issue, and it's got hundreds of millions of dollars worth of U.S. taxpayer money behind it. I just think that's terrible. Gentlemen, any last thoughts, and then we'll go to close out?
Just a real quick follow-up on what Chris said about the minors. It is sickening what has happened in that respect. We have these unaccompanied minors that the government, our government, has placed with quote sponsors, and we have no idea where the hell they're at.
Mm-hmm.
That we as a government, we have facilitated in this, and it is sad.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go to our last slide. And Representative Chairman Leader Miller, I'll let you kind of close out here with kind of where they can find us and how they can take action to help us in our fight for conservatism, for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And of course, we're always the home of truth, logic, and common sense. I may have stole all your thunder, but I hope not. But let's just close out with Miller, and then
You're
let's go.
putting a lot of pressure on me to steal all the taglines there. But, one thing I want to remind the listening public is that swamp creatures are created when the grassroots people don't support statesmen to go and proclaim truth, logic, and common sense and transparency in government, and try to expose where all of the cockroaches are hiding. And one thing that we continually try to do is to stand up for the voiceless people that really don't have a voice. And so if you feel compelled, if you just go and hit that donate button, that will help us immensely as we move the needle and try to make Illinois great again.
Exactly. Well, as we give everybody one more chance here as we close out, let's go kind of alphabetically, reverse order with Niemerg, Freeze, and Senator Chesney. Representative Niemerg, closing comments, and then we'll go on to Freeze and then to Senator Chesney.
Yeah, folks, thanks for tuning in with us here this evening. I'd like to echo what Chairman Miller said. If you're able to donate, please donate. If you're able to get involved, please get involved. Like and share our Facebook posts continually. And I want to leave you with this. We're going to have a tremendous battle here in lame duck and in spring session. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. But I want you to know that there are very few Republicans in the state of Illinois in the House and the Senate, but there are even very fewer conservatives. And you are looking at part of that coalition of the very few conservatives. So it's very important that you like and follow us. Stay tuned on what we're doing. Truth, logic, and common sense, as Representative Halbrook and Miller put it. Stay tuned. Thanks a lot.
Representative Freeze.
Well, I appreciate being on this evening. Please get involved, not only with our organization, Illinois Freedom Caucus, but your local organizations. Got to push conservatism. We have got to take back our state.
Exactly. And Senator Chesney, your thoughts as we close out this evening?
And just appreciate everybody for watching. Securing the borders is common sense, shouldn't be controversial. If you have a benefit that you want to provide somebody, you have a responsibility to pay for it. These are not crazy ideas or right-wing positions. These are common sense positions, and we certainly ask that everybody that is in the legislature to join us in supporting border security and providing that if we do have a benefit that we want to provide, that we also have a way to pay for it responsibly.
Yeah. Excellent stuff. Gentlemen, thank you for taking time out tonight to be on, and thank you all for watching tonight. And always, we appreciate that you like, share, follow, and subscribe to our content. We're on YouTube and on Facebook and on X. Just find Illinois Freedom Caucus. It's really, really important to like and comment on those different things and share that content with your friends and neighbors. Just grab that link and text it out to 2 or 3 of your friends and neighbors. Really, really helps us to get this message out. And again, it is a real battle to overcome the algorithmic gods of the big tech overlords. And so with that, let's hit the intro music and head out for this evening, and we'll talk to you real soon.
All right. Take care, guys.
Thanks.
See ya.